You make me want to be a better man.
That's maybe the best compliment of my life.
When did Jack Nicholson find out his sister was actually his mother? How many children does he actually have? And will the legendary bad boy ever marry again? Welcome to Do You Remember? I am Nostalgic Nick. Jack Nicholson is one of Tinseltown's most colorful, iconic, and decorated actors. Nicholson's lavish Beverly Hills mansion has been the site of some of the most raucous parties in Hollywood history, and Jack has reportedly carved over 2,000 notches in his bedpost over the years. But it's actually kinda lonely at the top, and it should surprise no one that Jack has ruffled plenty of feathers along the way. So sit back and relax as we tell you about Jack Nicholson's most famous feuds, and you're not gonna wanna miss this. Before we dive in, please hit that thumbs up icon if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to our channel so we can notify you about future content. When did Jack Nicholson find out his sister was his mother? John Joseph Nicholson was born April 22, 1937 in Neptune City, New Jersey, the son of showgirl June Frances Nicholson. Jack was raised by his maternal grandparents and grew up believing June was just his older sister and his grandparents were his biological parents. But he learned the truth in 1974 when a Time magazine reporter researched his life for an interview. Old Jackie boy never investigated it any further, but it's possible that his biological father was either Donald Furcillo, who was briefly married to June, or Latvian-born entertainer Edgar Ade Kirschfeld. How many children does Jack Nicholson have? Jack Nicholson has fathered 6 kids by 5 different women, but has only been married once. Nicholson married Sandra Knight in 1962 and told one interviewer, quote, "While the ceremony was going on, that part of me that at night half believes in God was looking upward and saying, now remember, I'm very young and this doesn't mean I'm not ever going to touch another woman." The couple welcomed Jennifer to the family in 1963, and Knight told Business Standard, quote, "The real Jack is a loving, caring, and giving person." Bad Boy Drive.
Well, as near as I can figure out, it's because I fight too much.
Mulholland Drive in Beverly Hills was once nicknamed Bad Boy Drive because its notorious residents have included Warren Beatty, Marlon Brando, and our old pal Jack. After Nicholson divorced Sandra Knight in 1968, he celebrated in style by hosting some of Hollywood's most lascivious all-night parties. According to biographer Mark Elliott, Nicholson's mansion was the wildest house in Hollywood and featured, quote, "round-the-clock partying, drinks, drugs, sex, and beautiful, hot, willing girls who loved to just get as high as the boys and have a good time." Jack reportedly had plenty of booze, pot, and downstairs white stuff on hand for his regular guests and saved the primo upstairs white stuff for all the women and his closest friends. Nicholson told Vanity Fair, quote, "I am an extreme person. If someone says, 'Jack, you are a womanizer,' I don't deny it." And he added, "But the life of a gigolo always ends badly. This is one of the reasons I feel uncomfortable about all that sex legend stuff." Angelica Houston. Nicholson began his 17-year-long relationship with Angelica Houston in 1973, which included several periods of overlap with some other women. In her autobiography, Houston claimed that while the couple was attending the Cannes Film Festival, pretty French girls would come up on motorbikes and say, "Oh, Jack, you want to ride on my bike with me?" And, well, yeah, he'd just leave her standing on the pavement. Nicholson also famously had an affair with Margaret Trudeau, the former First Lady of Canada. In her 1982 book, Consequences, Trudeau called Nicholson the first real rival to Pierre and claimed they made love all night. She also said, quote, "I discovered just how much room there is in the back of a Daimler." But the final straw in this relationship was when Jack Nicholson impregnated a nightclub waitress, Rebecca Broussard, in 1990. Jack casually announced, quote, "Someone is gonna have a baby over dinner," to which Houston replied, quote, "There's only room for one of us women in this picture, and I'm going to retire from it."
We had a good one, didn't we?
Yes.
Milos Foreman. While filming One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Nicholson frequently butted heads with the director Milos Foreman, who had very different ideas for the character of Randall McMurphy and refused to show dailies to the cast. The feud became so bitter that Nicholson eventually only communicated with Foreman through cinematographer Bill Butler. He also directed the actors and held secret rehearsals behind Foreman's back. But as we all should know, the film was a critical and commercial success. And Foreman won the Best Director Oscar in 1976. Cuckoo's Nest was the second movie ever to win a Grand Slam at the Academy Awards, and the Library of Congress added it to the United States National Film Registry in 1993. Hey Milos, I think you should have given co-director credits to old Jackie Boy.
That's right, Ches, and we want a new vote on it, don't we?
Gina Davis.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, it's quite all right.
Tootsie was the first major film role for the then unknown Gina Davis. After the film wrapped, her agent took her and a few other clients to Hollywood to meet casting directors. His friend, Jack Nicholson, joined them for dinner every night, and a few nights later, a note with the legendary Lothario's digits was slid under her door. But while filming Tootsie, Davis had received some career advice from Dustin Hoffman that she managed to put to immediate use. The two-time Academy Award winner told her if anyone in the industry made an unwanted pass at her, she could politely decline by saying, quote, "Well, you're very attractive. I would love to, but it would ruin the sexual tension between us." Davis told The New Yorker she saved that advice away. When she dialed the number, Jack cut right to the chase and asked, "Hey Gina, when is it gonna happen?" After Davis replied with Hoffman's scripted response, Nicholson responded, "Oh man, where'd you get that?" John Belushi. The Western-themed romantic comedy Goin' South was a passion project for Jack. Jack directed the film and portrayed an outlaw who gets more than he bargained for when he weds Mary Steenburgen to escape the hangman's noose. John Belushi plays one of the town's bumbling deputies, and Nicholson was interested in taking the young comic under his wing. But Belushi's massive ego and heavy white powder habit got in the way almost immediately. In Jack's life, biographer Patrick McGilligan said Belushi made petty demands and fought with the Goin' South producers. And as a result, Belushi's part kept getting smaller and smaller. And he later told one interviewer, "I hate him," when asked about working with Nicholson. Goin' South underperformed at the box office and received a lukewarm critical response. The film currently has an aggregate score of 52 on Metacritic, and several reviewers cited Belushi's diminished role as one of the movie's biggest flaws. According to Bob Woodward's biography, Wired, the two Hollywood bad boys eventually buried the hatchet. Belushi reportedly visited Nicholson's legendary party pad seeking advice about an upcoming project just a few days before his 1982 death. Cher. The day after Cher's 40th birthday, she received a disturbing phone call from director George Miller, who was casting The Witches of Eastwick. Miller told her, quote, "I just wanted to call you and tell you that I don't want you in my movie, and Jack Nicholson and I think you're too old and you're not sexy." Cher said she was heartbroken because she wanted the movie so badly and said, quote, "Tears started streaming down my old face. He didn't want to hang up, he just wanted to tell me everything. I hate the way you walk, I hate the way you talk, I don't like the color of your hair, I don't like your eyes."
Well, I have to admit that I appreciate your directness.
But Cher responded with a two-word phrase we can't repeat and said, "You didn't find me under a rock. I was nominated for an Academy Award for Silkwood, and I got the Cannes Film Festival Award for Best Actress for Mask, so goodbye." Well, the goddess of pop was eventually cast as Alexandra Medford, and she won an Academy Award for Moonstruck the following year. I mean, Cher is just a Tony Award away from achieving that coveted EGOT status, and she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2024. David Spade.
Hey, you live here in Pittsburgh?
No, actually, I'm here.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Comedian David Spade's star was on the rise in the late 1990s, and men around the world were wildly envious of his relationship with Twin Peaks star Laura Flynn Boyle. But Spade experienced an unfortunate Hollywood minute of his own when he was cuckolded by Nicholson. Jack reportedly asked her out in front of him. Spade said, quote, "She got mad because I didn't stick up for her." And he responded by saying, quote, "I've been in this town long enough to know when I'm outranked." According to Spade, Boyle secretly began dating Nicholson while claiming she was also repulsed by the idea of dating a man 33 years her senior. But the SNL alum found out about the clandestine affair when Nicholson and Boyle were in a car crash together. Spade claimed Boyle, quote, "crawled out of the sunroof and yelled, 'I have a boyfriend, I can't be here.' But she failed to keep the story out of the tabloids, and Nicholson and Boyle came out as a couple at the 1999 Emmys. Their 5-year relationship officially ended when she discovered a bracelet meant for another woman in his luggage. Jack Nicholson is one of only 6 actors with 3 Academy Awards, second to Katharine Hepburn's 4 statues. But Jack the Jumper's personal reputation always seems to precede him, and The Independent included him on its list of history's most legendary seducers, a list that also includes Casanova and Lord Byron.
Don't tell me.
George.
Are you gonna make me literally run from bad news?
You do not have the luxury of not...
Jack's final film role was in the romantic comedy How Do You Know? And he just celebrated his 87th birthday. The retired actor was last seen in public in 2021, attending, yes, a Lakers game with his 30-year-old son, Ray. But his closest friends are really worried about his health and are afraid he will die alone. Nicholson told one interviewer, quote, "I would love that one last romance, but I'm not very realistic about it happening." That's been our look at Jack Nicholson and his famous feuds, and some of his many relationships. So now it's actually time to hear from you. What is your all-time favorite Jack Nicholson film role? Do you think his personal life overshadows his film career? Or should people just mind their own business? Please get in the comments and tell us all things Jack Nicholson and his life and his films. Also, tell us who we should cover next. Hit the thumbs up icon to show us some support, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a beat. But most importantly, from all of us here at Do You Remember, we want to thank you very much for watching.